Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Project Joy Live, your triple shot of good vibes every weekday morning here on the Breakthrough Show Network. It is Thursday, June 15th, 2023. I had to get us back on track with sharing the date this morning and the day because we went through almost the entire day yesterday thinking it was Thursday, even though I knew it was Wednesday because I said it. But thought it was Thursday yesterday. My husband brought the garbage bin down to the road and then was like, stood there at the end of the driveway going, why is no one's garbage out? It's Thursday. It was not. It was Wednesday. So just in case you needed to know as well, today is Thursday. When you have a lot going on in your life, the days sort of start running together a little bit and you're not quite sure what's happening. That's what's going on with us right now. So I'm going to try to remind us in the morning what day it is because I need just as much help as all of you. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, super excited to be with you this morning. I have Danielle Valero back on the show today. We're going to be talking about all things fashion trends from the 90s. And we're also going to be talking about some of the people who made these fashion trends popular as well. So we're going to dive into all of that. We also have national days to talk about and, of course, birthdays at the end of the show. And I'm also really excited because Danielle and I are going to go out with the 80s and 90s with the bang tomorrow night. Actually, I may have to show some clips of that on Monday. We'll have to see. So all of that being said, let's bring Danielle on to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love the hair today. It's very baby one more time.
Yes. Little like pigtails.
Yes. Who else had that hairstyle? I think Baby Spice, one of the Spice Girls. Yes. And we were talking about that yesterday. Apparently that was Miss Britney's first concert was the Spice Girls.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it was a whole thing. I've never seen the Spice Girls in concert. Have you?
No.
Yeah. They put, I think we were talking about that a little bit yesterday in music, how it was really like 90s really got the ball rolling for the girl power thing. We had a lot of the girl groups. And I feel like they also took a lot of risks with fashion, which is what we're going to talk about today. And a couple of those people showed up in my list as well. Do you have any, before we jump into like the top looks and things like that, do you have any fashion things that really stick out for you from the 90s?
Yeah. So I don't have that hairstyle today, but I will wear it tomorrow. It's the ponytail, the half ponytail kind of on top of your head. That was my thing I wore like all the time.
Yeah.
And again, higher up, like as high as you can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I definitely was into like, the Looney Tunes thing that was going on for a while.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have to show a photo.
Uh-oh.
So, I can't believe I'm going to do this. I honestly, Jessica, take it back right now. So I had a 13th birthday party and someone bought me a Looney Tunes shirt. I really am not quite sure what's happening here as far as my face and everything else, but God. So we're just going to show the shirt. We're just going to show the shirt. I can't. We actually went through a bunch of pictures. Bangs. I remember all the bangs, all the hairspray, all the bangs. Yeah. And then, yeah, when we would try to curl them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely was a look.
And my kids, my husband put this in our little family chat, which I thought was real kind of him. My kids, I'm like, there's a funny story actually behind those bangs, because if you notice the one side, I didn't have any bangs, because what happens right here is my hair like splits. It doesn't like to do the perfect bangs like everybody else had. So I finally got so sick of trying to get them to go together that I was just like, screw it. And I would put them back and just have like the side bangs. It was horrible. It really was. Good morning, Adam. It's good to see you today. um, so Adam, you'll have to let us know if there were any of these fashion trends that we were talking about were popular over in the UK as well in the 90s, because we were in our bubble, I think, over here in the
We
US.
were, for sure.
Okay, so I want to talk about some of the top fashion things, and you can tell me if you participated in these. Danielle, you ready?
Okay.
Okay, number one, denim everything. Denim jackets, denim skirts,
Oh,
jeans,
yeah.
overall, all the denim,
All the denim.
all the time. Yes. Apparently Adam had fringe, they call the bangs fringe over in the UK. So, um, Adam had fringe. Did you have bangs too, Adam?
Oh.
This is very interesting to me. I
Hmm.
didn't see that here in the US. Number two, so we had denim everything. Number two, flannel shirts. And I didn't recall this being a big deal until like I said, I've been rewatching 90210 lately, and the flannel was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep. And then we had to have the little crop top inside the flannel, or the tube top inside the
Yes.
flannel, and open up yeah. I remember now. It's all coming back to me.
I did what they used to call the wife beater under the flannel, or have the flannel open with the white wife beater. I
Yeah.
don't know what you call them now, but that's what we called them, and it was terrible, but
Right.
that's what we called them.
Yeah, like so I have a black one on today,
Yeah.
and I don't know why they okay, we're going to have a lesson on today's show. Why were the tank tops called wife beaters? Okay. Um, Apparently, this became synonymous for an undershirt after a 1947 criminal case where a Detroit man was arrested for beating his wife to death.
Huh.
And he had it on. I had no idea, truly.
Me either. I just knew that's what we called it. Back then we didn't have Google. If we were wondering how things got a name.
I think yeah, I don't know. I remember using the phrase. I wonder if like I haven't heard that phrase used in a long time, and I wonder if it just sort of went out, or if people were like, this is probably not a good thing for us to say anymore. It's wild.
Well, it's like with army print, like the
Yeah,
kids these days are like, they call it army print. I said, oh, fatigue. They're like, what's fatigue? That's what we called it. We
right.
called it fatigue.
Yeah, I don't
Nobody calls
know.
it that.
It's weird to see because I wonder sometimes when things happened and why. And like you said, we didn't have Google back then to to question it. So but then can we really trust everything on Google? That's another conversation. Um, number three on the list was slip dresses. Slip dresses were a major trend in the 90s, epitomizing the minimalist and grunge inspired fashion. These slinky, often silk dresses were worn over t-shirts or paired with chunky boots for a contrasting look. Remember like the spaghetti strap? They had the little white t-shirt. It was like a baby doll sort of look.
Yeah, I remember like seeing a lot of like stars, like famous people
Yeah.
wearing that look. I personally didn't wear it. But I think it was during the grunge time, maybe.
Yeah, I may have had like one dress like that. I don't recall it being a huge. I do remember, speaking of baby doll dresses, this is not on the list, but while we're talking about dresses, I remember having that, like the higher waisted, like A-line baby doll sort of dress. I remember those quite a bit. Also, chokers. Chokers were a
Oh,
staple accessory in the 90s. From thin black velvet chokers to tattoo style plastic versions, they added an edgy and trendy touch to every outfit. Fun. Adam said he did have bangs and he's going to try to dig out a picture later, so we may have to show that on tomorrow's show. I'm very interested in seeing that now. All right, chokers. We had those. Number 5 got kind of falling into the denim thing, but we had these, I think, in lots of colors. Were overalls. Overalls were not only functional but fashionable, and you couldn't have uh both straps attached, or it was a bad situation.
it wasn't cool to do that.
Yeah, you were not.
Because then you look like a farmer.
Yeah,
That wasn't cool.
you had to have them both down or one up, one down. Yeah.
Yeah.
They provided added. Not that. They were worn by both men and women and became a symbol of relaxed and casual 90s style. You know what else is not on this list? That because they also talk about baggy clothes, which was a huge thing. It was influenced by hip hop and streetwear, baggy jeans, oversized t-shirt, and loose fitting sweatshirts. They neglected to mention how we would wear them backwards. Inspired by what band, Danielle?
Crisscross.
Yep.
Jump.
Yep. The Mac Dad'll make ya.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole thing for the longest time. And yesterday, so one of my kids accidentally put their shirt on inside out, and one of my other kids pointed it out, and I'm like, you're just going on with 90s week. It's okay. It's just that's what
That's
we
right.
do. That's what we did. In addition, I never wore these, but well, platform shoes it talks about. I remember wearing chunky boots. I remember a lot of girls started buying like the combat boots, and wearing those with the cargo pants, and with those little baby doll dresses and things like that. But I don't think I ever wore like super big platform shoes.
I did.
You did?
I had, well, I don't know if they were chunky, but they seemed platform to me, and they were like this, like these white, like high white, like patent leather white, crazy
Wow.
looking.
Do you have photos of this?
I do not.
She does, but she's not gonna say it. Yeah, I'll have to go through and see what else I have. I mean, I think so. I have a picture of me. What year was it? Sophomore year, homecoming, and I was in love with my dress that year. That was the only year that I was really like, I love this dress. It was like a black short, like velvet almost material that had like the high neck. It was sleeveless, but it had like that was kind of a thing then too, like a turtleneck but with no sleeves.
Yep.
Shirts like that. But it was, so my dress was that, and I was in love with that dress. And I think I had like a tall black shoe, but I don't think you'd consider it to be like platforms. I don't know. I didn't wear them a lot because I'm a very klutzy person, so I would have just fallen often. We talked about underneath the flannels, the crop tops. That was thanks to pop icons like Britney Spears, Spice Girls. They became a symbol of youthful and trendy style. Did you wear the crop tops, and were your parents thrilled about it?
They were not. But yes, I did. Definitely
I
did.
think some of us, that's why maybe the flannels were such a big deal, because we wore the flannels. And then as we went through the day in school, the buttons, yep. Sorry, Ma. That's what happened during the day at school. What else? I talked about cargo pants. Cargo pants were both functional and fashionable, featuring multiple pockets. And they were popular among both men and women, representing a casual and adventurous style. I don't recall feeling very adventurous, but I remember. I don't know that I really ever wore a lot of. I mean, I maybe had a couple pair, but I don't think I wore that very often. Did you wear the cargo pants?
I had one pair of orange cargo pants, but I wore them in the early 2000s, not in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that was all I owned for cargo pants.
Yeah, I don't remember wearing them a whole lot, to be honest with you. Also, neon colors kind of carried over from the 80s into the 90s as well. There was a lot of neon and fluorescent things. Also, I wore the other day, I might wear them again tomorrow, I don't know. My big yellow chunky earrings that like the bright here they are. My big yeah, like the wooden ones, the bamboo ones, and then these you can't see them very well, but I wore these specifically for this week. It looks like, here we go. So these are little cassette tapes.
Oh yeah, that's so cute.
And
I definitely couldn't see it though.
They say best of the 90s.
Oh my god, those are so cute.
They were this little there was a girl that makes these at the duck race in Pawcatuck this year. And I was like, "Ooh, mine." I got those in the not Cabbage Patch, Care Bears.
Care Bears
Earrings.
Yeah, I got the hoops. The big hoops on.
Yep, that'll be part of my look for tomorrow. I tried to do so going into a little bit the makeup trends for the 90s. I tried to do this a little bit this morning, but I'm going to have to go see if I can find a better one. So doing the dark lip liner.
I don't know if you could see it. I tried.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell better with yours. Mine did not come out dark enough because I don't have a dark lip line. I don't have lip liner anymore. I tried to use was an eyeliner. And it wasn't working out very well. But we did the brown lipstick, which I still do today. I prefer a more brown lipstick. And then frosted lips were a big deal too, like pastel pinks and mauves with like the metallic. And honestly, I don't think that ever died with me. I like metallic and I like brown. I think I'm still living then, maybe with the makeup. Let's see so with hair, we talked about high ponytails. When it came into the look of the hair, chunky highlights, did you ever have like the big highlights in your hair that were just like you could easily tell look like stripes?
Oh yeah, the chunky highlights, frosted whatever hair. Yes, did all that. I also did the whole sun in spray to bleach my hair. So I always had like a lot of blonde down here, and then it would be dark up here, which carried over into adulthood.
Did you ever own a crimper?
I did.
That was a moment.
Oh,
it was a moment with the crimper. And one of my favorite things, which I'm going to actually see if I can find some of these maybe today, because I would wear this still today, is the butterfly clips. Where we had them lined
little
up,
twisties, yeah,
twists, and we had either had one on each side, or I would do the whole little like rainbow. I need butterfly clips. Somebody find them for me.
They still sell them.
I'm gonna have to. Where can I find these at? I need to go find them.
Maybe 5 and below, maybe. I know I've seen them.
Oh, I'll have to go check there. Another hair trend, it was, I apparently, see, I had never, God, are you a Friends fan?
Not really.
I'm not.
I watched it, but not religiously watched it. I saw a few episodes here and there.
Yeah, like I've seen it and I like the episodes that I've seen, but I'm not like a cult follower of Friends. That's gonna be like, oh my god, it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Same.
Um, but apparently the shorter shoulder length layered haircut, which by the way, Donna, Kelly, Brenda, who Andrea, all pretty much every character in 90210, like season 4, had this haircut. It was known as the Rachel. It was like shoulder length, layered. Yeah. It became one of the most, they called it the Rachel after after Friends, and I never heard it referred to as the Rachel.
I know everybody was going crazy about her hair. Like everybody, I mean, it was on every magazine. It was just everybody
Yeah.
was talking about it, and it became a trend for sure.
Yeah, this apparently was she was the number one because of this hairstyle. She was the number one most influential from the 90s, apparently, style wise, which is really interesting to me because it's not who I would have thought of as number one. Number 2 was Madonna, underwear as outerwear. So wearing like the corsets on the outside, the bustiers, lacy lingerie, because of her stage performances, people started doing that. Number 3 influencing was Kurt Cobain, frontman for Nirvana. He became an emblem of the grunge movement. His unkempt, layered outfits consisting of flannel shirts, ripped jeans, and thrifted pieces set the stage for the grunge fashion trend. I recall some moments, wearing the like. I feel like it became more acceptable as we went through the 90s to have like that Walmart look.
The Walmart look.
Like just like where you don't have to really try to like you could throw on the flannel. I feel like there was like maybe there was effort still, but there was less.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like nobody was looking at what name brand or whatever. There was like a period there where you could just put together your own thing and make your own look, and nobody was going to be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what name brand is that?
Right.
What are you wearing? Where'd you buy that?"
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think, it got a little, I mean, I feel like it was pretty carefree for a little while because even as you saw the styles mix, so I'm going to skip forward here to Aaliyah. Aaliyah, the singer, wore the baggy pants with the crop top. So like super big pants and then the super tight shirt. So in order to pull off a look like that, you kind of had to mix and match brands and styles and things like that. So I feel like as people did that, it was like you said, it was like less of a question of like, who are you wearing or why, or it was just an appreciation for the whole look, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Number 4 influencing style in the 90s was Gwen Stefani, lead singer of No Doubt. She popularized the use of bindis on your forehead as not just an Indian style, but as part of style in the 90s. And then incorporating fashion from Japan. Like she really brought a lot of like Asian style and stuff to fashion trends as well. Another series. Okay, are you a Sex in the City fan? I wasn't of that either.
I wasn't. I got into it a little bit.
Yeah.
My older age, but not in the 90s. No.
Yeah. I don't think I was either. But Sarah Jessica Parker was brought forward a lot of fashion trends, from heels and tutu skirts, oversized flower brooches, quirky accessories, and then Carrie, in the show, her style was very eclectic, and I think people were kind of drawn to that as well. TLC. A big influence on fashion as well with the baggy clothing, but also colorful bandanas as well. I remember owning a bunch of bandanas and then rolling them up and making like the headband
Me too.
or whatever else I thought I was doing.
Or even like putting it around your ponytail and like using that to make it higher.
Yep. So Will Smith, in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, his bright clothes, more of an eclectic style, urban streetwear, bold prints, colorful patterns, high top sneakers. He was big part of how the fashion went in the 90s. I think for guys, big time. And then this one was interesting to me. Kate Moss introduced what became known as the heroin chic style, um, which she had a really slim figure, and then it was controversial because she kind of looked like she was strung out a little bit. It was very light skin, smudged eyeliner, and like kind of a disheveled look a little bit. And so that's interesting. I remember people talking about that. I remember it being a pretty big deal, but I don't think I ever tried to emulate that. I
No,
don't think heroin was a look I was going for
me either.
back then. Also, apparently, David Beckham, and his bleach blonde hair became a pretty iconic hairstyle. It was known as the blonde curtains, a bleach blonde lock styled with a middle parting. I didn't know that. I
Hmm.
didn't know that.
Interesting.
Um, so yeah, those are some of the style icons. Is there anything that we didn't talk about and all of that you remember? Or like they talked a little bit about in some of the articles I saw, having really thin eyebrows. I don't remember that.
I do remember
Do
that.
you?
Very thin eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very thin.
I
Like
never messed with
thin.
my eyebrows till I became an adult, and then I became sort of obsessed with my eyebrows, which is why now half my eyebrows are so thin because I would mess with them.
No, I have to draw them on too. I went through a period
Yeah,
where I was waxing them a lot and plucking them, and yeah.
yeah,
So now I barely have any.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
I
it's a look. It's a look. Um, yeah, it's interesting to think back to that time because there's so many things fashion wise that I feel like I tie into um how I still am today. And then like we talked about last week as well, things have kind of like made their way back around too, where
definitely.
I see something, my kids are like, "Oh mom, look at this." I'm like, "We did that 30 years ago."
Facts.
Long
Big facts.
time ago. Oh, you think you made that up? Nope. Nope. We talk about that with songs a lot too. When they'll hear a song and I'll be like, "Oh, listen to this," and I'll play the song. Um, One of the things I was going to ask you about, which we talked about yesterday, because this was part of our music and movies and TV and all of that. Um, the we talked about The Simpsons and how
Mm,
The Simpsons are still they're still making episodes, and but there's all these controversies about The Simpsons and how they predict things that are going to happen. Have you heard these, and what is your take on that? Because I wanted to ask somebody else.
I have heard these,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, you almost think maybe they're time travelers that are making the cartoon because like a lot of this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Like it actually happens, and like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the whole Trump thing, running
Mhm.
for president, and that was what in the 90's that they showed that
Yeah.
episode. Like, and then there's like
Yeah.
little clues.
It's interesting because so we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole yesterday with Ferran because we were talking about, are they time travelers, or we talk about broadcasting being very influential, and were the 80s and 90s a time, because that's when we really got into a lot of, I feel like it was, the movie Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
Do you know? Okay, so I feel like it was a time like that where TV, especially with the rise of MTV and things like that, became super influential as far as like what we are supposed to pay attention to and style and everything else. And so were they predicting the future, or were we being molded in a way into what they wanted us to pay attention to? It's a thought. It's interesting to think about that. So I think there's a lot of things. I mentioned that I've been rewatching 90210 and seeing sort of the style play out. And as we kind of go finish out this, we're going to be finishing out 90s week tomorrow and going to the 2000s. I feel like things sort of sleeked down a little bit. Like, I don't know, the hair, we start to lose the height in the hair a little bit, maybe go a little bit more minimal with the hair and the clothes and the makeup and stuff like that. And so if you see someone out and about now that's wearing like bigger hair, bright clothes, do you feel like does it give you that warm nostalgic feeling, or are you like, no, we're done with that now?
Some things should stay in the 90s. I'll say that. A lot of stuff, are great. But some things, like the big hair, I don't know about that. That probably should just stay in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
All that hairspray, like my hair was messed up.
I know. It was a whole thing. And so after the show on Monday, I was wearing this shirt, the bright pink, and I had my big earrings on and the ponytail. I did take the scrunchies out, but I had an eye doctor appointment right after, and I went out exactly as I was, except I had like 4 scrunchies in my hair that day. So because it was, I was trying to get the height going on. And so I did take the scrunchies out, but I had everything else. And like, I feel like I had a couple looks like that's a little bright. Their eyes told me what I was wearing was a little bright. However, there wasn't anything bad. So that's good.
Last week I went out wearing the same stuff,
yeah.
Had my makeup the same way, had the hair. I kind of like went down a little bit by the time I went out to do errands. So
yeah,
I was like, I feel like I fit in, whatever.
Because we talked about this too. Hairspray is not what it used to be. You can't just spray it and you're done for the day. I mean, practically have to carry it with you, which is kind of annoying, to be honest.
Facts.
But we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and finish out the show talking about national days and our birthdays. So we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. It is Thursday, June 15th, 2023. I'm here this morning with the fabulous Danielle Valero. We're talking about all things 90s nostalgia, fashion trends. And I want to point out one thing. So the musical Rent, the first performance of that was in 1994. And you guys know and love my good friend Kevin Kiley here on the Breakthrough Show Network. He is starring in a local production of Rent as Tom Collins, and I am so excited about this. So if you're in southeastern Connecticut area, I think I'm trying to remember when. I think the performance is in late August. So we'll be talking more about that coming up. If you love the show Rent, he's going to be incredible in it. I know they started blocking scenes and whatnot, and Kevin's a powerhouse singer, so you're going to love this performance. So I'm super excited about that. Let me know if you're in the area, and I can definitely point you in the way of tickets when the box office opens. Do you like the show Rent, Danielle, or the movie Rent? Have you seen that one?
No.
It's
Sorry, I haven't.
so good. It's, even if you're not like super into musicals and things like that, it's such a powerhouse show. Really, really incredible. So Kevin's going to be awesome in that. In our national days today that I want to talk about, it's an interesting day because it's National Foam Party Day. Foam party. Who knew that we needed a national day for this? But apparently it is the newest, cleanest, and coolest party to have. It's a mountain of refreshing foam in your backyard, piled 6 feet high, giving your guests an unforgettable experience that is the latest party trend in America.
Wow.
Foam. Okay, I didn't even know this was a thing, let alone a national day. Apparently the one who hosts the party is called a foamologist.
Wow.
What to say? What to say about this? So a foamologist shoots the foam towards an empty space in your backyard or party area using a foam cannon. You add music, lighting effects, a bubble machine, and a rinse station for later, and you have a full-blown foam party.
There's an actual foam cannon. That's interesting.
I feel like I don't know what to say, but I also need one.
I also find it very intriguing, and I almost want to go to a foam party now because it kind of sounds fun.
What is this? I don't even know.
Music and lights, I'm there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what could be better than the addition of foam?
Yeah, you'll smell good.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it's about. Maybe you do all the dancing, you know.
Then you rinse off after.
Yeah. That's okay. Also, it's National Megalodon Day. It is the most massive shark that ever lived. The megalodon swam the Earth's oceans for 20 million years. And their mouths spanned 8 to 11 feet wide. That sounds horrifying.
You just unlocked a new fear for me. Yeah. I already don't like going in the ocean because
they're not there. Well, they're not there anymore. But I've heard conspiracies that I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Don't tell me.
Wow. Their teeth were 7 inches. That is a lot. So the megalodon, so they can be found apparently off North Carolina is where they like the old teeth and whatnot can be found. They don't exist anymore, so you can still go in the ocean.
Supposedly.
Yeah, maybe. Brittany said her old man went to one this past year with the music and the lights, the foam parties, not the megalodon. And
I hope not.
And enjoyed it. So I would love to hear his experience, Brittany, with the foam. It's also nature photography days. Do you like to take picture of nature while you're out, or are you not into that?
I used to be very much into that.
Yeah.
Not lately. I should. The camera doesn't really work too well.
Yeah.
You take selfies. It's about all I could take.
Which is the most important thing anyway.
At least something works. I need a new phone.
So nature lovers and photographers alike celebrate this day with enthusiasm. They capture the breathtaking beauty all around us, encourage others to see the wonders of natural earth. I enjoy taking pictures of the water and the beach, but I really video is preferred for me. So I'm always taking the video no matter where I go. When it was my daughter's birthday last week, I literally followed her around like paparazzi, taking video in the bookstore. She was not thrilled with me, but that's what moms are here for.
Memories.
It's National Smile Power Day. Smile Power Day shares one powerful expression. From the good morning greeting and the first, how may I help you, present yourself with a smile. No matter where you are employed, job seeking, retired, looking for new horizons, starting the day with a smile is certainly more empowering than a pout or a grump. Do you find it challenging to smile in the morning, or
Well, if we're talking about the morning, yes. Looky, I'm smiling right now.
Yeah. We try to make that. See, if you wake up in the morning, you're having trouble smiling. The point is you're supposed to turn on Project Joy Live. So then we can work on that.
Definitely.
Starting the day with a smile is easier than trying to get there later in the day, according to this article. But, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm here for the smiles, but I also feel like you shouldn't force it. If you're not feeling it, then you can if you want.
You know, I really dislike if I'm out in public and a guy comes up to me and he's like, why don't you just smile? I have like the resting, you know what face all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't even realize I have like a smug look. I just walk around looking like that. Unless there's something making me laugh or smile, I just have this look.
Yeah. And that's
the unapproachable look.
But would you have you ever felt like you need to change that about yourself, or you just you don't care?
Unless there's a reason, I don't care.
Yeah. See, you just got to be yourself. Everybody who knows you will know that you're not being smug. It's just being you. That's okay. Also, it is National Career Nurse Assistance Day. And my oldest is now officially a nurse's assistant. So I'm wishing him a National Career Nurse Assistance Day. A happy day for him. It is recognizing all nursing assistants who dedicate their life to the well-being of others, whether it's been 5 years, 58 years of service, or even just a couple of months, like my son. Nursing assistants work in hospitals and nursing homes alike, performing everyday living tasks for the elderly, chronically ill, or rehabilitation patients who cannot care for themselves. My son is working for hospice, so he is learning very quickly the challenges of working in that arena with people who are end of life. And so it's definitely put a lot of stress on him, but he's learning really quickly, and he's good at, he was telling me about a patient that he had that wouldn't do anything for anybody, and he's my son's like his favorite now. So I'm glad that he's finding his place in that, and we thank all of the nursing assistants out there who are doing that job today. It is time now to talk about birthdays today, because that's what we do at the end of the show. A couple of these play into what we've been talking about in the 80s and 90s, so that's really cool. Ice Cube is 54 years old today. 54 years old.
Ooh, he still looks the same.
Yep.
To me.
Yep. And speaking of friends, Courtney Cox is 59 years old today. Happy birthday, Courtney Cox. Were you a Doogie Howser fan?
Yes.
I love some Doogie Howser. That show ran from 89, late 89, so it was just about the 90s to 93. Neil Patrick Harris, that played Doogie Howser, is turning the big 50 today.
Wow.
50. Another face you might remember from recently, she was in King of Queens, but before that, she was on Who's the Boss? She was on Saved by the Bell. Leah Remini is 53 years old today.
I love her.
I do too. And then another big face of the 90s, Helen Hunt. She was on Mad About You, As Good as It Gets, Twister, so many things from the 90s going into the 2000s. Helen Hunt turns the big 60 today. 60.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. And also off-putting, and I'm going back to bed. And the celebrities in my life, Miss Lorraine Panettiere has a birthday today. Wishing her so much love. She's been on the Breakthrough Show Network, so I hope you have an amazing day, my friend. And with that, it is time to get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ice Cube, Courtney Cox, Neil Patrick Harris, Leah Remini, Helen Hunt, and Lorraine Panettiere. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating today. And I just love our little birthday song there because it is so 90s. It's so 90s with the colors and everything. And I
was bouncing around like,
it's a little moment that we need at the end of the show. Tomorrow we will be back to finish off our 90s Nostalgia Week. Danielle's going to be here. My friend Siobhan is going to be here. Do you remember Siobhan from West Side?
I don't think I do.
Okay, we're gonna have a reunion on tomorrow's show. Is what we're gonna do. I think Siobhan was the grade ahead of us.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it does sound familiar, but like my memory is a little fuzzy. It's been a while.
Yeah. I remember people, and then I'm like, I'll remember a name, and then I'll be like, wait, but where do I know you from?
Yeah.
So Siobhan's joining us tomorrow on the show as well. We're going to talk about all of our favorite moments. We're going to talk about food because we talked about that with the 80s. Talk about food. We will talk about, we might talk about Aftershock, Goldschlager. We might have a few moments with that. We'll talk about some of your favorite phrases from the 90s as well. And then we'll see how we kind of slide into next week, which we'll be talking about the 2000s, which should be fun as well. Thank you for being here again today, Danielle.
Thank you for having me.
And I will see you on tomorrow's show. I want to thank all of you for watching or listening wherever you are in the world today. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make joy and nostalgia a priority in your life today and every day. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.